Once upon a time, in a quiet little village in England, there lived a brother and sister named Effie and Harry. They were ordinary children with ordinary lives, spending their days exploring the countryside and playing in the fields. But one summer, something extraordinary happened that would change their lives and the fate of their country forever. It all began on a warm afternoon when Effie and Harry were sitting by a stream, watching dragonflies dart through the air. Suddenly, the skies darkened, and they heard a strange, flapping noise overhead. Looking up, they saw something incredible, a dragon. Not just one, but dozens of them. Effie and Harry couldn't believe their eyes. Dragons, which they had only read about in old fairy tales, were now flying right above them. The dragons swooped down, breathing fire and causing chaos wherever they went. Before long, the entire village was in a panic. People ran in every direction, trying to escape the terrifying creatures. Effie and Harry rushed home to their grandmother, who was the wisest person they knew. "Grandmother, what should we do? How do we stop the dragons?" Effie asked anxiously. Their grandmother, who had lived through many strange happenings, smiled gently and said, "Dragons haven't been seen for hundreds of years. But there's one thing I remember from the old stories: to get rid of dragons, you must visit the one place where they came from, the land of fire, and find the Dragon King. Only he can send them away." Determined to save their village, Effie and Harry packed their bags and set off on a grand adventure. They traveled through dark forests, crossed wide rivers, and climbed high mountains, always heading towards the land of fire. Finally, after days of walking, they reached a vast desert of red sand, with flames flickering in the distance. In the center of the desert was a grand palace made of molten rock, the home of the Dragon King. Effie and Harry bravely entered the palace and stood before the enormous Dragon King, who was surrounded by smaller dragons. The Dragon King looked at them curiously. "Why have you come here, little humans?" he asked, his voice rumbling like thunder. "We've come to ask you to take the dragons away from our village," Effie said, her heart pounding. "They're frightening everyone, and we don't know how to stop them." The Dragon King gazed at the children for a long moment. Then, to their surprise, he smiled. "Very well," he said. "I will call back the dragons, but only because you were brave enough to come here and ask. Few humans show such courage." With a wave of his mighty claw, the Dragon King summoned the dragons back to the land of fire. Effie and Harry watched as the sky cleared, and the dragons disappeared one by one. When they returned to their village, they were hailed as heroes. The dragons never returned, and life in the village went back to normal, but Effie and Harry would never forget their incredible adventure in the land of fire and their encounter with the mighty Dragon King.